Continuing on, I can move back to the Density tab and begin by reducing the global density. If I chop the density in half, you can see the effects right away. We get a much thinner, more transparent particle cloud. If you increase the contrast amount, you can thicken up the particle cloud and fill in a lot of the detail. Increasing the contrast amount will tend to make the particles more matte and have less apparent dimension to them. You can also shift the contrast center to move the contrast position. I'll keep reducing the global density until I have what I think will work for me. It's still a little thick down low, and again, with the cigarette smoke, I don't want the effect to be so pervasive that it detracts from the rest of my scene. I just want it to be a very subtle effect with very small amounts of smoke tendrils rising up through the air. So something unobtrusive. I'm thinking maybe a value of around 10 seems a little high. One thing I can do after I've set my initial global density, I can even take the amount of intensity per ray type and lower that as well. So if I wanted shadow rays to have a stronger effect, I could make this the case. On the particle density shader, so if I look in the render tree, on the actual density shader is an attribute called the per cloud or gradient limit density. And I can actually lower this. This is kind of like a multiplier or a divider to get the overall density limit down even further. So you have to be very careful with this node. With this, you can actually increase the global density to much higher values, which really tends to thicken out an effect. So I could go in and say something like 300, and you'll see how full the effect looks, and then start to lower the density limit to try and blend some of those runs together a little better. Either way, you need to do what works for yourself. So in my case, I'll try and strike a balance between global density and per cloud density limit. So I'll take a density of about 50 in and raise the density limit to about 1 so I can see the particles, and then start to reduce it from there. Okay, maybe a value of about 0.3 or 0.4 will work well enough. So if I pull out a little bit more, just draw a quick render region and see what I have. So it's actually not looking too bad. I'm actually getting some nice plumes of smoke, and you can see that they're rising up through the air. So I'm going to get a pretty nice fade off over time.